Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here tonight to another Northwest Truck Series. As you can see from the spinning in the background, the lights shining down on this dome of a racetrack. We're here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We are under the lights, baby, tonight. Once again, let's get to some racing here soon. But before we do that, we need to thank the sponsors for this series and the broadcast. As always, they've been here since day one, and they continue to support this series. That is none other than Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. Make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com for that great product, all natural and organic. Definitely a must, and as I say every week, trust me, the ladies will thank you for keeping that beard nice and tidy. Again, check them out at wallsbeardco.com. And, of course, on the broadcast side of things here for 2019 and 2020, those are Northwest Racing Series, Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, RaceOnTexas.com, World of Thunder, Hanover Wrecker Service, On the Edge Motorsports, your official Wicked Energy Gum retailer, Huffman Designs, RaceCore Online Racing League, and of course, last but not least, coming on board here recently is Extreme Sim Racing. If you're looking to up your game or just go all out when you buy into iRacing or any other racing game, check them out at ExtremeSimRacing.com. Use the promo code VRN to save yourself 5% on your order. Definitely a must if you want to be the best at the best. Or best of the best, we should say, here on iRacing or any other simulator racing game. That being said, it is time to dive right into the racing stuff here tonight, and the chase is coming closer and closer to being here. As of right now, only one driver is locked in to the points and that championship battle, and that is Jeff Stabnow. So we're going to be talking to him here momentarily. So give us just a minute. We're going to pull him down here and see what his thoughts are and see if that gives him any comfort at all knowing that he's locked in. All right, we are not going to get that interview in, unfortunately. Jeff has been away from his rig here in the last couple of weeks and having to crunch to get the last minute practice in. But maybe during a caution, which it's Bristol, so we know we're going to have some. We'll see if we can't talk to him then. We'll probably pull Mark or someone down here a little bit to see if we can talk to somebody to get some fuel on here. I don't think fuel and tires are really going to be that big of a factor tonight anyway, just because it is Bristol tires. Again, I don't think they're going to be too big. Fuel, they're going to get a ton of laps regardless. They do run a full fuel tank here, so they're going to get a lot of laps. This is a 200-lap race. 16 drivers have made the trip here to Bristol as of right now. Dan West Jr. just logging in, and what a race Dan West Jr. had in the past Monday night race here at Bristol. He led over 130 laps, unfortunately falling to third there at the end, but still a terrific run for the number 55 machine and number 55 team out there Monday night. Rob Stewart, the fastest right now in the number 76 machine, followed by Mark Walls, Casey Tillman, and Ryan Maines. As we pull it up here, we of course are in the Extreme Sim Racing countdown to green flag drop. 10.5 minutes left on the clock before we go to qualifying. Qualifying will be a little crucial here. It's kind of tough to pass on this track, so you're going to want to start as high as you can so that you don't have to worry about trying to pass people later on in the race. Again, passing not necessarily the easiest task to do at Bristol Motor Speedway, so you definitely want to be towards the front. I do want to mention here, For anybody that's watching the Facebook Live stream, let us know if it's choppy. We feel there is a issue with Facebook Live right now. It's been cutting in and out. We saw it earlier today from James Brown there, so we're going to plug in for the Buzzin' and Blazin' show, morning show. He was cutting in and out. I don't think it was his internet, actually. I think it may be a Facebook Live issue. We were experiencing it earlier, and we're experiencing it now as well. It just doesn't want to stay connected. However, we do have the YouTube link down in the chat over there, so you can check it out on the ultra high definition version as well. And of course, YouTube is our main home. A lot of big things going on here on the channel. We want to mention real fast, so we have about 9 minutes to go. One, and most importantly, most of you know in the past that Race on Texas and Virtual Racing Network did a semi-merge. Well, that merge has progressed even further. That we are actually going to be merging the two YouTube channels together here in the very near future, possibly as early as Monday morning. Monday afternoon, we'll be starting this process. Nothing will change for all the fans out there watching. There's like 2,300 of you. Nothing is going to change for y'all. You'll still get all the free content, but we'll have some paid content on there as well for real life racing. So again, nothing's going to change. The name of the channel will switch over to Race on Texas. However, it will be VRN still. So we will be Virtual Racing Network on Race on Texas. So we are the official sim division of them. So again, nothing will change, but you will have access to some real life racing content as well. So if you like some dirt track racing and a little bit of short track asphalt racing, we will have on-demand subscriptions on there for that, as well as all the sim racing that we already cover on the channel. So a lot of good things happening here for Virtual Racing Network in conjunction with Race on Texas. But again, nothing will change on our end as far as what we do and how we cover stuff. That being said, let's jump right back into the racing here. Let's go on board as Rob Stewart is out on the track right now. So let's go on board with him if we could and kind of see what it's like to be him here on this track. He is the fastest driver here in practice. It'll be interesting to see what kind of line he's running. It looks like he's running about middle to top. We'll see as he goes into this corner. Yeah, he's not running all the way to the top, but he's not running at the bottom either. He's running somewhere right in the middle. And we'll see. Let's go to his right front suspension if we could and see just how close he is to off that wall, kind of cutting into the wall. He's not running. He's running about a lane and a half down off this wall. So that is very interesting that he's not running all the way on the wall. And a lot of people think and do run as close to that wall as they can. He's not doing that, and he is the fastest with a 14.910. Let's go over to Mark Walls on board with him. He's actually not on the track, so let's go to Ryan Maines if we could and go on board with him. He's run a 14.999 and see what kind of line he's running, and he's running he's running a little bit lower. So you notice distinct line there, and it's a difference of about 0.089, just that little difference in the line that these guys are running. So you definitely have to be conscious about what line you are running out on the track, because it could very well determine how your time works out and if you're going to have a winning time or just a mediocre time. So something definitely these guys will have to pay attention to throughout the night. Obviously, this track is not going to change too terribly much, as we'll bring up your track information brought to you by Bulletproof Tees here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Track length 0.52 miles, so just over a half-mile track. Of course, your turns, there are 4 of them. Altitude 1,472 feet. Race distance, obviously you were practice, so that is just basically an unlimited amount. Track temp is what we kind of want to look at. I'm not worried about the wind. That's a constant 3. It's not going to be changing from the northwest. But 80 degrees here, it has actually just went up a degree. So They are laying some heat down in this track right now. As you can see it drop again to 79. So kind of fluctuating 79, 80, 79, 80 back and forth. This is going to be interesting. Will this track heat up when we get to the actual race? When they're all tightly bunched together, laying down a lot of heat in one area, I think this track will probably get up to 80, 82, maybe even 85 degrees. We'll see. And we'll check on that throughout the race to kind of determine if the track temperature is going to play a factor. It is night, of course, and I don't know if the clouds are out here tonight or not. But all of that going to play a factor. It doesn't look like you don't see any clouds over there, so I think it's a clear night here at Bristol. So it's going to be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see. Right at the moment, though, we have 4.5 minutes left. Let's see who we can't get up here and take a chat with them. Let's see if we can't talk to, let's see, we got, I don't see the 55 in here at the moment. So let's take someone we don't typically talk to. Let's see if we can't get a word in with Ryan Maines here at the moment. Ryan Maines, you got a copy?
I hear you.
All right. Well, we got you here in the booth real fast. We try to get someone in here we don't always get to talk to, or that we forget to talk to, I might add. But you're out there on that track putting down some good laps. What are your thoughts here at Bristol? Is it a short track under the lights? Is it going to be chaos out there tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be a little chaotic. The setups are all kind of twitchy, and Sand's going to come out from behind the truck on a lot of these trucks, more than once probably. So it's going to be dodging. It's going to be chaos.
We talked about it a little bit here in the pre-show that tires and fuel I don't think are going to be too big of an issue, and you kind of confirmed that. You know how many laps probably you're going to roughly get on fuel. But in your thoughts as a driver, do you think you're really going to have to worry about a fuel run or wearing down a set of tires? Or do you think you're going to have plenty of time to or options to come down here and take tires and fuel?
We're probably gonna have a lot of options early on. In the past races we've had here, once it's all hammered out, there's been usually a long run near the end. I can see that being a possibility.
Oh, we have seen it in the past, and we've also seen it where y'all surprise us and we don't see but one or two cautions the entire race. Anything is possible when you come to Bristol. It's an iconic track. It's fun to race at. Coming to this track, we talk about it being kind of chaos and craziness. Is there any kind of ritual or something you do before you take off just to kind of calm yourself down here?
I do kind of sing random songs in my head before the green flag flies. It usually kills the nerves a little bit, but then it's just like, well, it's lots of lip biting.
Definitely, you got to do something. But real fast before we let you go, we got a minute 40 till the qualifying. Any sponsors in that car, or just anyone you want to give a shout out to real quick?
I like to thank the beer Walls Beer Co. for always sponsoring us, and you guys for always VRN for always being around to cover us. It's always fun to check everything out after its race and beat yourself up when it's all said and done.
Definitely, you'll probably be doing that here. Everyone will probably be doing that here. But we'll let you go, and hopefully we'll be talking to you on good circumstances later on tonight.
Hope so. Thank you.
All right, again, that was Ryan Maines, driver of the number 13. He's fourth fastest here in the session right now with a 14.999. He's actually tied with Casey Tillman for third fastest here in practice. So we'll keep an eye on him here tonight to see how he goes since we got to talk to him. But chaos, the theme here at Bristol. It doesn't matter if you're in the Cup cars, the Xfinity, the trucks, go-karts. It doesn't matter what you drive on this track. Wheel and Modified. It's a short track, and it's just that. It's short track racing at its finest. I believe its nickname is the world's fastest half mile or something like that. So it's crazy. It's one of those tracks. You never know what you're going to get when you come here. It could be crazy. and we could see a fairly relaxed race. Seriously doubt that's going to happen, but it very well could. That being said, 10 seconds left on the clock. Your countdown to green is coming to an end, which means qualifying is coming up next here in just about 5 seconds. As you see right there, the clock counting down from 8 seconds. That's their last little bit to get their laps in here for practice. And there it is, expired. So we will get ready to get this race going in just about, 0 seconds. Qualifying is underway. Let's go ahead and bring down your qualifying bar, hopefully. And, of course, not everybody's name is going to be showing. The 11 of Frank Harris not showing up. So we'll see who is going to be the first one out on the track here tonight. And actually, let's reset that real fast just so we have his name in there. As at this time, nobody coming out onto the track, as I believe we went from night to day. Now that's interesting. We were at nighttime, now we're here in the daylight. So I didn't see that one coming, to say the least. That's definitely interesting. We'll go ahead and get down on the track. Let's go to Ryan Maines, as he's going to be one of the first drivers out onto the track. We'll bring down qualifying. And, of course, your qualifying driver bars. You're watching the number 13 of Ryan Maines. We just got done talking to him. He is going to be the first driver to put in a lap. And we'll see what's going to be. John Ottenbacher also out on the track. So what kind of time will he put in here tonight with a 15:38 for Ryan Maines? Again, these guys are going to tape these trucks up here for qualifying. John Ottenbacher in the number 89 Walls Beard Co. Chevrolet. He's going to put in a 15:058. So an 0:38 and an 0:58.020 separating your top two here at the moment. With some blistering fast times. Roy Grande out on the track at the moment in that Taco Bell number 51 Chevrolet on the track. What kind of time will he put in here in qualifying? It should be very interesting to see if the speed of Taco Bell can make him go any faster. We'll see. Is that number 51 Roy Grande? Always somebody you got to look out for, and he runs a 15:529. It's going to put him back a little bit, .492 off the lead, but still a 15-second time and a respectable time at that, as we have Jackson Steiner that's out on the track in a number 45 Flex Seal Chevy Silverado, a new driver. I don't think we've seen him before, and if we have, it's been a long time since we did see him, so we'll see how he stacks up tonight. Brandon Young in chat with us here tonight. Welcome, Brandon. As always, I really think you have us mistaken with somebody else, but we'll go ahead and run with it. Since you think we have the voice of Angel, so we're just going to agree with you here tonight. As he hasn't put in a time yet. 15:625 was the time you put in, but it wasn't a fast lap. Scraped the wall. We'll check in with Jeff Stabnow, who is just got done smacking the wall. You can see the damage there. He's going to have to go to pit road, and it looks like so did Jackson Snyder. He hit the wall. Sean Breitzman not going to finish his lap either. Let's go over to Corey Walters in the Hooters Walls Beard Co. number 9 Toyota Tundra here for that number 9 machine. What kind of time will he put in? We've seen several drivers already get into the outside wall. Will he put in a time? He does 15:240. That'll put him in third place, just ahead of Roy Grande in the 51. And no surprise, Mark Walls, we were told he would be the guy to beat here tonight. 15:035 as he beats Ryan Maines by .002. A difference of .002 in qualifying. That is it. It's a very fast time for both Mark Walls and Ryan Maines. Should be a good race between those two. Sean Breitzman going to run a 15:056. So right now, your top three, top four, all 15. So we got 15:035, 038, 056, and 058. So we have a lot of really fast cars in the top right now. It's going to be interesting to see how they do. Is Rob Stewart going to smack the outside wall? We'll switch over to Stephen Paulson, who is in the number 58, Jim Beam. I believe that is a Toyota as well. Dana Rogers out on the track, as well as Rob Stewart. These guys trying to get in laps. They have 5 minutes to do so. To get 2 laps in, more than enough time to complete their laps. But right now we got a bunch of drivers choosing not to go out at the moment. We'll see. Jeff Stabnow, one of those, he did go out, but hit the wall. And I'm not sure, that may have invalidated both his laps if he wrecked it kind of right at the line. But Stephen Paulson going to run a 15.221. He shuts it down. Rob Stewart to the top of the charts, and he just licked the stamp and sent it. He was done. 15.004 for Rob Stewart in that number 76 machine. What a time for him. As we go over to, let's go to Caden Anderson. Dana Rogers supposed to put in a 15.330 to put himself in 8th place. But Caden Anderson, we have not seen Caden Anderson in a little bit. It's been a race or two since we've seen him, but he's back. He scrapes the wall there. That may invalidate that lap. It doesn't matter. That definitely is going to do it right there as he slings it sideways. Does he going to drift it around the corner? We go over to Casey Tillman in the 92. He's coming out onto the track now. All right, we are back there. Had a little bit of a cough, but Casey Tillman, 6th fastest on the 158. I will say this, he just ran a 15.018, and there it is right there. I didn't know it was going to count, but he does. 2nd fastest, 15.018, right behind Rob Stewart. Caden Anderson sitting on pit road, so he will not be going out, or I say he will. There he goes. I thought he was sitting there. That was a glitch. Caden Anderson is on the track right now. All right, and we do have Jeff Stebnell, so let's grab him down here real quick. Jeff, we got just about 2.5 minutes left on the clock, and we want to talk to you a little bit here. Not about our usual stuff. I don't think the fuel and tires is going to be too much of a factor. But what we want to talk about is we got the points in. A little birdie sent those to us. You're the only driver locked in to the point standings going into the chase here in a few weeks. So does it give you a little bit of a calm feeling and relax, at least for this first round, knowing you're locked in?
Yeah, it does. And just to correct that, so Sean Bryceman takes the grid tonight. If he starts, runs a lap, he's in the playoffs. All he needs is one more start. Mark just needs 2 more starts over the next 7 events to lock his in. So for all intents and purposes, those 2 guys are in too. But to answer your question, yeah, there's kind of no stress, which is good because we got a pretty rough set tonight. I think everybody does. We're all struggling with really loose trucks. So. And then I blew qualifying. I'll be starting in back. So I expect to see a fair number of cautions tonight and probably to be caught up in a few.
Oh, definitely. We know you've been off for a little bit, had family over. It is the summer. And I will say this too, we were talking about earlier, we made the comment premature, so we'll slap ourselves for that one, that we thought we were only going to have about 10 cars because it was a summer, but the field has really come together here. We got about 16 drivers so far, so they piled in all at the last minute. Maybe they just wanted to prove me wrong, I don't know, but they did show up here, so a fairly decent field for Bristol. Expect some crazy racing, some good racing. What's your plan going into this race? You planning for fuel run, or you planning for cautions?
I think we're going to have a lot of cautions. We got sets that are having a tough time running the bottom. They're out to spin and get loose. We've got sets, especially early in the run, where if a guy breaks too hard getting into the corner, they want to get loose. So somebody has to check up, before those tire pressures come up. They're liable to go around. So I got a feeling that cautions are going to kind of create cautions here tonight in this particular case because these trucks don't handle too good before the tire pressures come up.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We've got 20 seconds for shout-outs. Who are they?
As always, Charles, you and your crew for the fine production and the fine show that you guys put on for all of us. It's just a pleasure working with you. And then, of course, Walls Beard Co. for just all the sponsorship they've given us over the years, and Sim Racing VR and everybody in general. So fantastic products. Walls Beard Balms, fantastic company. Big fan of Sim Racing and terrific sponsor. So big shout out to them as always.
All right, well, hopefully we'll be talking to you in Victory Lane, or at least the top 3. If not, we may be talking to you as a co-commentator here later on tonight.
Odds are good. You'll see me in a few.
See you then. All right, again, that was the 24 Jeff Stabnow, your current points leader. So, of course, we wanted to chat with him there for just a little bit, as we have, it's not Caden Anderson on the front. Let's go a little further up there. We'll check in with Ryan Maines, who's going to be closer to the front. And we'll check in with Rob Stewart. There he is. There's your pole sitter at the moment. So let's go through your Walls Beard Co. Actually, let's zoom out a little bit, shall we? There we go. Let's go to your Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb starting grid. On row 1 is going to be the 76 of Rob Stewart and the 92 of Casey Tillman. Row 2 is going to be the 48 of Mark Walls and the 13 of Ryan Maines. Row 3 is going to be the 46 of Sean Breitzman and the 89 of John Ottenbacher. Row 4 is going to be the 58 of Stephen Paulson and the 9 of Corey Walters, trying to jump the gun there. Row 5 is going to be the 07 of Dana Rogers and the 77 of Tom Green. Row 6 is going to be the 333 of James Vining and the 51 of Roy Grande. And I will note that everyone did take the grid here tonight. Row 7 is going to be the 1 of Caden Anderson and the 24 Jeff Stabnow, who, again, as just mentioned, kind of goofed his qualifying time there. And row 8 is going to be the 2 of James Thurston and the 55 of Dan West Jr. And row 9, rounding out this field, is going to be the 45 of Jackson Steiner and the 11 of Frank Harris. That will do it for your Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb starting grid here for tonight's race. Of course, this race is brought to you by the Northwest Truck Series, brought to you by Walls Beard Co. You're watching it live here on Virtual Racing Network, the Sim division of RaceOnTexas.com. And we are set to get the green flag next time by. Let us know in chat who your pick for tonight's race win is. It's definitely going to be a interesting race. We're going to see a lot of chaos, maybe a little confusion going on here. I think I'm going to go with the underdog. I think I'm going to go with the 92 here tonight. Starting outside pole, I think I'm going to go with Casey Tillman as tonight's race winner. We'll see if he can pull it off starting outside pole. They are set to get the green flag, and they do. Green flag is out, and he holds them off nearly to the line, but we are racing. Rob Stewart on the gas pedal here. 200 laps is the distance, 103 miles. Is your distance, 200 laps. So it should be a good one here. We're going to go back a little bit. Mark Walls in at third. Casey Tillman second. Ryan Maines in fourth, as they're going to stay spread out just a little bit. As we'll switch cameras here just a little bit, kind of shake it up, as we're going to get up close and personal with these guys. Rob Stewart, though, still out front. And we thought we had some shaking up going in the back. Mark Walls able to hold off Ryan Maines, but here he comes to the inside with that mean-looking black grill. Looks just evil there with that black grill going on. It looks good. Caution number 1 going to be out for James Thurston in the number 2 machine. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened. Let's go to the aerial view. Brought to you by Sames Ford. Again, you're watching the 2 of James Thurston just at the back of your screen. And let's figure out exactly what happened here. And And I'm not sure. He's all by himself here. Oh, there we go. The 55 of Dan West Jr. actually went around first. Let's go to Dan West Jr. here. And let's go off there and let's go take another look here. See what happened to Dan West Jr. To bring out this caution as he went around first and everyone else is trying to check up for him. Did he get in hot and did Jeff Stabnow play a factor? Or not play a factor, but no, he didn't. I thought maybe he got to the back of Jeff Stabnow or something. That's not the case. He just got loose on him, though. He talked about the back end of these trucks coming out, and that's exactly what happened. And then it involved the 51 of Roy Grande and James Thurston getting involved as well. Rob Stewart trying to give the pace car here a little bit of a lift, but he is your race leader at the moment. James Thurston out of the race. James, if you're out there listening, you should come back and join me in the booth. I can pay you in peanuts, but that's about it. But we'll still pay you in peanuts, regardless. If you're out there watching, James, come on back. We'll get you in the booth, and you can join me here tonight for this race. Alright, we are under, of course, caution number 1 here tonight. We'll expect to see several of those as we'll pull that information up real fast. There you see it. Bristol Motor Speedway, cautions 1 laps 3, no lead changes, as Rob Stewart has been out front for every single lap so far. How many will he lead? As I thought he had some damage there, but that's just his bumper there, making a little bit of a weird shape on us. And we're not tired, folks. We're trying to wake up here as again under caution, the lights are off, so we will go racing this next time by. And we want to mention here that we do have an update for the green-white checkers. If we were to go into green-white checkers, the overlays should work properly. That being said, drivers don't necessarily want to see one. We don't necessarily want to see one, but we kind of do at the same time so we can test the new overlays. We haven't had a chance to, as we got that update late today. And we got contact back here, Ryan Maines, going for a little bit of a sideways ride, but he somehow saves it. And we keep going green. Jeff Stabnow is working his way. He's already up to 7th place, so he is moving through this field in a hurry here tonight. Question is, oh, contact. That's going to send the 89 around. He saves it, but a roadblock onto the backstretch, and that's going to involve basically the back half of the field as they're still trying to get through. As looks like Jackson Steiner trying to back up and get going. Ends up getting into somebody else. The 07 to Dana Rogers just deciding to go backwards. Let's go back and take a look as the 89 eventually going sideways. Let's watch the replay. Right there you see was that, and then these two go around, and then it's just chaos behind them. Somehow a few of these guys back here managed to make it through. Is right there. Let's go back and check out let's see who Dana Rogers in the 07 is who we're going to look through. Let's go back and look at that. And watch who this is. I'm not sure who that is in the 58. Stephen Paulson. I don't think he wanted to be sitting there much longer. As you'll see right here. He just continues the 07 around and gets them out. 2 trucks trying to fit 1 spot of real estate on the track, and it did not work. As Rob Stewart, I believe even he has some damage, and he's been leading this thing. So interesting. Let's go on board with him real fast if we could. And yes, a little bit of damage there. It looks like he may have just scraped the wall a little bit. So even the leader, not surviving this race damage-free, as we started with 18 drivers, and we now have 2 of those out of the race, James Vining and James Thurston. So both of the James are officially out of the race here at the moment. And we have Tom Green on pit road. as well as John Ottenbacher on pit road. We have Jackson Steiner on pit road, Roy Grande on pit road. Looks like Dana Rogers has made it off pit road and is back on the track. Jeff Stabnow, he got through the pack just in the nick of time as he worked his way up, and then chaos breaking out behind him. So what a good job for him to make it through before all of that happened, or his night very well could have been ended early. All right, we are set to get back to our leader, Rob Stewart, as we are bunching them up nice and tight. Green flag is back out, and we are racing once again. We're only on lap 15, folks. We've completed 14 laps and already had a few cautions. At the rate we're going, I do believe we will see several cautions here tonight. Casey Tillman trying to run down Rob Stewart for the lead. We're going to go back here a little ways as we got cars going around. Caution is out, this time involving the 11 of Frank Harris. Let's go back and see what happened. What happened here as we just get going? I have a feeling somebody broke loose here at the restart, and right there, the 07 to Dana Rogers breaks loose. Something happened there. Smacks the 51, catches the 11 as well. The 11 of Frank Harris, the 51 of Roy Grande, and the 07 of Dana Rogers all involved in that caution. And that will again bring out the caution. That is number 3 here for 11 caution laps out of the 16 we have completed on lap number 17 of this race. I have a feeling if it goes this way, we will probably see that green, white, checkered coming out here at the end of the race. We still have 184 laps to go, and we currently have Roy Grande on pit road. He's been there for 1:05 now, so I'm not sure if he's going to make it back out. Tom Green 2 laps down. Spent 2.5 minutes on pit road, but he is back out on the track. Dana Rogers 15 seconds, but he is coming back down pit road. So is the 11. And we'll see just how long they spend on pit road. We also have Stephen Paulson on pit road. Looks like Corey Walters going to come down pit road and have service made. So everyone from 6th place on has made a pit stop. Rob Stewart, Casey Tillman, Sean Brightsman, Mark Walls, Jeff Stabnow. Those guys have not come down pit road at all here during this race, and for the most part have clean trucks, so no need to just yet. Alright, as you can see, barely there anyway, the lights are off on the pace car. They're going to double up, and we're going to go racing to start lap number 21. As of this point, only four drivers look to be out of this race. We'll see if Dane Rogers, John Ottenbacher make it back here later on tonight. Those two sitting on pit road with heavy damage. I'm just not sure if they are going to make it back or not. Hopefully they can here shortly. But regardless, for now, the green flag is coming out, and we are racing one more time. Question is, will we see the caution come out here momentarily as Rob Stewart gets a huge jump? And we got somebody going a little slow there. That is going to be Sean Bryson. Looks like he's got a little damage to the front. Maybe something spun the tires on the restart, but he's back going under power and in the right direction. We got Jeff Stamnell and Mark Wall's two teammates battling here. This one could get kind of interesting. We're going to kind of let the race do its own talking here tonight as well. But these guys really duking it out. There will not be any breaks given as you see the 48 of Mark Wall smacks the outside wall. That is primarily probably one because of the truck as the caution comes out once again. And it's going to be back here for Caden Anderson in the one. Let's go back and take a look. One of Caden Anderson smacking the outside wall. And a lot of these have seemed to be by themselves. We'll see if that was the case here this time as he goes to the inside of the 55 of Dan West Jr. and just gets it loose and slides it. And a little net code there, and around he goes, and caution is out for the fourth time here tonight. We are going to step away to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Are you in the market for a quality new or used car, truck, or SUV? Head on down to Sames Ford in Corpus Christi, Texas, and browse through their inventory today. You won't be disappointed. And sorry about the folks having a mic issue. We were just literally talking about the Jeff Stabnow, how he saved that. We apologize for that mic issue. But Jeff Stabnow going back there and luckily somehow probably not getting a black flag from that. If he did, it may have been unsafe, but he definitely got woed up in time to get on pit road. So unfortunate if he didn't, but he's going to come down pit road with the lead cars. So I'm going to assume he did not get a black flag for that. Very lucky he did not, but he is going to bring it down pit road this time. As so far, almost everybody has completed pit stops here, except for Rob Stewart, Casey Tillman, and Mark Walls. Those three drivers have not come down pit road yet, so very interesting there. But, of course, we're going to step away. When those lights go off, we'll be back to call the action. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are off. And as we always say, that means we're going racing next time by. And there it is. Pace car dives off. We are set to go racing. And there we go. Race is underway once again. Will we see another caution early on? Or will we get a long green flag run? That is the question, of course. We're going to go back here a little ways. Oh, and a shot to the back bumper. Somehow that does not result in a caution. There's Mark Wall slides up just a little bit on the track. Gets a rear end from Ryan Mays, and that's going to allow Dan West Jr. to get by him. He's got damage as well. I don't think there's a truck on this track that doesn't have damage. Jeff Stabnow on pit road for 8, 9 seconds, 10. We're going to keep an eye on that. That may be a penalty as he's going to be there 14, 15, 16 seconds. So not a stop and go, and a weird penalty. He's been there 22 seconds already. I'm not sure what kind of penalty that is. Caden Anderson pulling on pit road after the little deal. So he's on pit road now. A lot of people pulling him down at pit road. We'll see. Jeff Stabnow been there for 35 seconds. His night may be done here. We'll have to check in and see. Nope, he's going to make it out. 42 second stop. So I'm not sure if it was a penalty or if he was just getting damage repaired. But either way, he's back out onto the track now. Currently, or actually just now getting onto the track, as there goes the leaders, and Casey Tillman might pick, smacks the outside wall. There goes Mark Walls. He's going to get by him, so the 92 of Tillman hits the wall, and Walls gets by him in the process. As Ryan Maines sitting in fourth place, Sean Brightsman in fifth, and Dan West Jr. trying to get by him to take that position away. And we are on lap 41. I have 160 laps to go. We are taking away laps, not quite as quickly as we were doing in the Xfinity car, but as we heard, these trucks are very hard to handle. They're not necessarily the easiest thing to drive, so it's something you really have to kind of finesse out on the track. And unfortunately, with open setups. You have to do the setup yourself. They're not necessarily the easiest thing to set up. So they have to do the best they can. And caution is out once again. Let's go back. It's going to be for Corey Walters. At least he's involved in it. Let's go back and take a look. Corey Walters involved in this caution. He's all by himself on the track. I'm going to assume that this was a single car incident on the track involving the number 9 of Corey Walters in the Hooters Walls Beard Co. Toyota Tundra here, and it just gets it loose and breaks it loose right there. And there may have been somebody in front of him he was checking up for as well. I don't know. They were awfully checking up in front of them. And Steven Paulson is going to come down pit road. So right now, Rob Stewart and Casey Tillman, the only two that have not come down pit road just yet. Again, for anyone that's happens to be on the Facebook side of things, Facebook is acting up. There's an issue going on with it. It is pretty much well documented now. So if you're in there, check the link out. Come over to the YouTube side of things. We are not having issues over there. So Facebook Live is having issues, so keep that in mind. Come over to the YouTube. We are nice and smooth over there. Rob Stewart, though, leading this race, followed by Ryan Mays. Jeff Stabnow back on the track. He is 4 laps down with heavy damage, which means that fast repair has either already been used or he's trying to save it for when he really needs it. Right now, we don't have but 11 drivers on the lead lap as we are under caution once again here. Whoops, so we'll click the right button there. There we go, under caution for the 6th time here for 27 laps of the 45 laps completed. Alright, pace cars off. We are racing one more time, and it'll probably be more than one more time, but the green flag's out nevertheless. Ryan Mays trying to run down Rob Stewart. Rob Stewart has led all 48 laps we have completed tonight, as he's doing a fantastic job and one of the only drivers out there with a clean truck. Sean Brightsman might have a fairly clean truck. He probably used a faster. I do believe he was involved in a little something early on in this race. Casey Tillman, my pick, sitting back in the 5th position as he's going to go to the inside of Steven Paulson. And they're going to be side by side coming to the line, but it's going to be Casey Tillman that hangs on to 4th place, at least here for the moment. And we got Mark Walls right behind him, wondering, is all these two going to get together? Is something going to happen? Do I need to be on the lookout? And if I'm him, the answer to every one of those questions is yes. Probably something will happen out on the track. Maybe not between them two, but I would be on a high alert anytime I come to this track. As we'll take a look. The front two, not too close together, but Sean Brightsman and Ryan Mays right there together. Sean Brightsman's going to take it to the inside. And they're getting a real kind of gutsy out there tonight. As there goes Ryan Maines into the wall. And somehow the 48 of Mark Wall saves him. No caution will be brought out from that. So a big, if I'm the Ryan Maines in that 13, a big shout out to the 48 as he kind of saved me. Although if I got a caution, I might have been able to bring it down pit road and get some damage repaired. But he actually saved him a little bit and stopped him from going around on the track. Meanwhile, we go back up to the front. That is, right now, your battle for second place, Sean Brightsman and Casey Tillman. Neither one of them really making any ground on Rob Stewart. Okay, there might caution gonna be out. It's gonna be Sean Brightsman in the 46 sitting on the track. Let's go back and take a look. What happened to him? He was running very good here. And we just missed it down the corner of the screen. And just breaks loose right there. And the 92 of Casey Tillman does a good job of avoiding him. As he goes around, doesn't hit anything, so he will save it. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and we will be right back when those lights go off again.
On down into turn number 4, trying to run down the 61 of Aaron Corley. Aaron Corley still your race leader, followed by Tommy Fain, Bobby Miller, Gary Williams, and Shelby Williams. Gary Williams, Diamonds, turn number 3. Trying to get a run on the 1B. Bobby Miller didn't have quite enough for that time. Meanwhile, back up front, your leader still the 61 of Aaron Corley.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are off. We're going racing. The question is, who will win this race? I honestly don't know at this point, but the time will tell. as Rob Stewart has led every single lap. We've completed 62, and that's how many he's led. He'll be on his 63rd lap led when we get to the line. Casey Tillman trying to run him down. Only one driver has not pitted at this point, and that is Rob Stewart, your race leader. He's had no reason to. He's led every lap. He's been out front. And here goes Casey Tillman, going to try to dive to the inside. Can he make it stick is the question. He slides up, and doesn't make contact. But there is more contact, and around goes Rob Stewart, and no caution comes out for it, but now we may see one right there as the 11 of Frank Harris going around. Still no caution, and your race leader is not going to be happy about that one, folks. As let's go back and take a look, and you'll see right here there was no contact made, I do not believe, between the two, but there may have been a little net code there, just enough that it sends him into the inside wall, and then right in here he gets hit again and again right there, and that little hit gives him tons of engine damage, so he leads all those laps, and now all of a sudden to be coming down pit road on lap 67, 68, not the way he wanted to do it. Casey Tillman is out front leading this race at the moment in the number 92 machine. Again, contact or not, it was very close, and that is probably going to send Rob Stewart multiple laps down. He'll use his fast repair most likely and be back out here, but he's already 2 laps down, going to be 3 or 4 before he can do anything. As he is coming off pit road right now. And we'll see right there is your race leader coming back around. So he'll tuck in right behind the leader, but he's multiple laps down. And now he's going to be right in front of Mark Walls, your second place driver on the track. Again, one of your drivers that's trying to lock himself into the point standings. We'll see if he can do it or not. He's got a good shot at doing it. All you've got to do is start in 2 more races, 1 more after tonight. So we'll see if he can do it. Jackson Steiner, someone we don't hear about all the time. Doesn't race a whole lot, but he is in the series. He is doing a good job right now, hanging in 3rd place as he slides up, smacks the wall, and that is the last thing he wants to see is Mark Walls trying to hang on to 2nd place. Can't do it. Steiner's going to get by him, and so is Sean Breitzman. Breitzman, after spinning, now he is in 3rd place, so could he do it? Could it be a spin to the win here for the 46 of Sean Breitzman? Let's take a wide look here if we can and see how this one's all playing out. So far, some good racing. Let's go back here to these guys. Just let these guys do the action for us, as they're going to kind of spread it out, so not quite as much to do here. So not as much going on anyway. There was quite a bit for a moment, but it's kind of fizzled out. We'll see, is Sean Breitzman going to get to the inside of Jackson Steiner here? Can he get away is the question. He does. He gets by him. He takes the 2nd place away. He's going to try to get up to Casey Tillman and get the win. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see how this one plays out. Casey Tillman out front. Caution is underway here tonight. Let's go to Mark Walls, who's involved, and let's go back and take a look. Let's see what happened here as the 48 of Mark Walls carrying out the caution once again here. You see him slide up, smacks the outside wall just a bit. The 45 of Jackson Steiner goes around, and that is what's going to bring out the caution. I'm not sure what happened. Again, looks like Mark Walls is having some connection issues here as everyone coming down pit road, and this time Casey Tillman to come down. Everybody's been coming down pit road. We have several drivers that have quite a bit of damage to their cars. So, not what you want to see, but Casey Tillman is still your race leader as we're under caution. We will step away and we come back and we'll go racing here and we'll let you know how all the pit stops go once we come back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are off. We're racing one more time. It's going to be Casey Tillman on the loud pedal here for tonight's race. Sean Breitzman sitting in second place. He's going to try to make something happen here tonight, folks, but Ryan Maines is right there on their tails. Well, something's got to give here, folks. Something is going to give. There goes the 45. That is going to be Jackson Steiner going around. And he's into the inside wall, but somehow makes it work. And no caution's going to come out for that one. I'm really surprised that we did not see the caution for that. Sean Breitzman, who is your new race leader, gets by Casey Tillman here in that last lap. We were going back to see what happened there. It's going to be Ryan Maines trying to get behind him one more time. Again, something had to give, and it did. And it's going to be the 45 going around, the 92 getting past. A lot of things shaking up here in the last little bit. Again, not something we expected to see here. I figured Rob Stewart would be the race leader for quite some time, but that didn't happen. As he got a little bump there. I think it might have been a little bit of net code going on, but he somehow makes it to Tom Green in the number 77 machine, sporting the peak in the Northwest on that. Just want to give a big shout out to him. He is doing a fantastic job in right now in fourth position. Dane West Jr., after having a dominating run as the caution comes out, and this time it's going to be Jackson Steiner once again. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened. And it looks like it's already trying to break loose right there. And he does. He breaks it loose, saves it, and then smacks the outside wall, and around she goes to bring out the caution once again. and in hard into the inside wall, and that will stick. That's going to bring out caution number 9 here for tonight. 40 laps under caution. We're on lap 91 of 200. We have 110 laps to go as we're under caution here for the ninth time tonight. Alright, we are set to get the green flag this time. Bye, folks. Again, this should be a good race. We'll see how this one goes. Will we see that green-white checkered that we have been waiting for here for so long? Green flag is back out, and we are racing one more time. Will that be the last caution? I don't think so. We'll just have to keep waiting. Sean Brightsman is your race leader, followed by Ryan Maines, Stephen Paulson, Corey Walters, and Tom Green actually going to make a pass there. So we're having some change up in the lineup here. So definitely a little bit of a change going on. We've seen very few different leaders, but a lot of action on the track. Meanwhile, it's going to be Jeff Stadnell sitting in 10th place. He's got a fast truck, used that fast repair, but unfortunately he's 4 laps down. And just to give that note, we only have 7 drivers on the lead lap. And of course, one of those is Dan West Jr. He's the last one on the lead lap with damage to the back of that truck. Rob Stewart 1 lap down after his little incident there on the track. No fault of his own, I don't believe. Just a little bit of a bump there. May have even been net code, but he is 1 lap down now. We currently have about 12 drivers, 13 drivers on track out of the 18 that did start the race. Sean Brightsman having a up and down night. He started down, and now he's on the upside here as he is on a lap 100. 101 to go. Well, definitely interesting as a caution that comes out once again. And it looks like it's going to be for Jeff Stabnow. Let's go back and take a look. Not sure if it is indeed for him, but he's slowed up on the track. That may have just been for the caution already coming out. And nope, there it is right there. Loops it around, doesn't hit anything, but he will bring out the caution once again in the number 24 machine, as we'll go back to the race leader. And looks like a lot of people coming down the pit road, some not. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, of course, those lights will be off, and we'll go racing. All right, we are set to get the green flag, as we have, looks like about 13 drivers on track right now. Mark Walls has packed it up for the night. Jackson Steiner packed it up. Dana Rogers, James Vining, and James Thirsting have also packed it up for tonight. Unfortunate for those drivers. Sometimes does happen that way, but regardless, green flag is back out in the air, and we are racing. Sean Briceman out front, followed by Casey Tillman, Ryan Maines, Tom Green, and Stephen Paulson. Corey Walters, well, he was on the outside, now he's in 5th place. Well, let's go back to these guys and look and see how it's going. As you see a big group of cars in one place, and at Bristol, that does not always mean good things, as bad things can happen when you stack cars up here on this little bitty tiny half-mile track. Luckily, they all managed to go through. We haven't done it at the moment, so let's go on board here with a few laps. Let's go on board with the 11. He's currently a few laps down. Actually, let's go on with the 89 of John Ottenbacher. Let's go on board with him and see what it's like to be in his shoes right now going around this track. All right, let's go off board, and Will not really fighting it a whole lot. So that's good news for him. He's not really having to fight this Will too terribly much compared to some we've seen earlier in practice. So we're off board, and we're going to back up to the front. Tom Green sitting in third place. Ryan Maines in second. And Sean Brightson out front leading this thing. He's now led 28 laps. We currently have 88 to go. We are starting to click these laps off pretty fast. The question is, will we stay green for the remainder of this race? If we do, we very well could see a green flag pit stop. I'm not 100% sure what their laps of fuel may be. They may be able to make it the rest of the way. Some of these guys, though, have had upwards of 10 pit stops already in this race. Can Sean Brightsman hang on to the race lead? Ryan Maines again second, and third Tom Green. Stephen Paulson running in fourth at the moment. Casey Tillman was leading. He's now in fifth. He's also got some damage. Rob Stewart was your race leader. Now he's back in traffic. He's in sixth place. Corey Walters back there as well. And again, these guys are the ones on the lead lap. Then you go to Dan West Jr. He's kind of sandwiched here between two cars. He's the first car lap down, and there is the caution out. And it's going to be for Corey Walters. Let's go take a look, see what happened. And let's see here. Not sure what happened to him. We did get word that Jeff Stabnow going to be joining us here in Duluth as he is now out of the race, but had to take a little break, and right there just gets loose, smacks the outside wall, and then brings it to a stop right there, and it looks like his night is going to be done a little bit earlier than he wanted it to be as everybody coming down pit road. So again, as soon as Jeff is back, he'll hop in the booth with us, and we'll have a second pair of eyes watching this race as Rob Stewart is regaining the lead after he lost it a little while ago. He'll be back in action here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the pace trucks, or whatever it is, pace car, yes, diving off as the green flag is back in the air. Again, you're watching the Northwest Truck Series presented by Walls Beard Co. Jeff will be in here momentarily as soon as he is back from his little break there. He will be joining us in the booth. Rob Stewart looking to get the win here tonight. He felt maybe a little robbed of it, no pun intended there earlier. And he is back to the lead. Sean Bryson, though, not going to give it up without a fight. He's going to dig on the inside. Is that going to be enough to hold off the outside lane here? And Jeff is in the booth with us. As he had to go to the back 40 to take his break. So, Jeff, welcome to the booth.
Thanks, Charles. How you doing, man?
We always try to give you a one-of-a-kind introduction, and that just seemed fitting there. But a heck of a battle going on up here at the front. Sean Brightsman and Rob Stewart, and they're battling hard enough. It looks like Ryan Maines is going to reel them in, too. We may have a three-car battle for this lead here in the next lap or two. And
yeah, I'm really surprised that Sean was able to clear him there on that low line. Wow, that's tough there.
It was indeed, and the caution coming out for the 92 of Casey Tillman. So we'll go back and take a look. And we talked to you earlier about this while we're watching this, and we heard the back end of the truck doesn't want to stay planted. It's sliding around, and we've seen quite a bit of that here tonight.
Well, that's exactly it. It bit me too. The rear end it just doesn't want to stay planted. You put too much wheel into it, and it'll turn real good.
It definitely is doing that to everybody here tonight, as I'm pretty sure everyone's used their fast repair or is holding off till they might need it later. I'm not sure. I believe Sean was involved in something earlier, but I don't know if he got a whole lot of damage. You obviously being on his team, I can't recall. That was that was 128 laps ago at that point. But did he get any damage early on and have to use his fast repair?
To be honest with you, I know he avoided the wreck early on. I'm not sure if he got damage on the couple spins he was in. I couldn't tell you. You know, he's pretty quiet on the radio. If Mark or I have to use a fast repair, everybody on team radio knows it. If Sean or John do, sometimes they don't let us know. They're pretty quiet. They're not as loud as Mark and I are.
And I can attest to this as having been in there before. There is a section of radioactive, if we were to do a radioactive, that you would probably just hear extensive beeps. Or you would have to turn down the mic significantly just so it didn't blow your eardrums, because I've been in there. No, and like you said, they definitely get loud. As you know, it's not a bad thing. It's showing the passion that's in here, sim racing or real racing. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into building these setups. More so for you as you do the setup for the entire league and then have to do your own. So pulling double duty out there.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to copy anything because my mom's watching this, Charles. So I don't know what you're trying to do here with this, but I'm pleading the fifth on this. And you get into it, and you get worked up. You've got a lot of time and effort into this. It's a weekly race here, and we spend a week prepping for it. So, it's not just a go out on a whim and put some laps down. So, yeah, we get pretty into it and caught up in the moment. And, we get upset when we wreck, and we get excited when we win. So, I think that's part of what makes this such a great sport, and why you're seeing the big push. I mean, we saw this on live TV the other night, NBCSN, and all the publicity. It's pretty close to being the real thing, and along with that comes some real emotions.
Yeah, it really does. We talk about all the time as the green flag's about ready to come out. It's sim racing compared to real racing, but it's not so much in here. It's more just time and effort put into it. But, we've got stuff like the Peak Antifreeze with $100,000 on the line. So some of these guys, probably could be running in that series. And, they just have chosen not to or aren't at that stage yet as the green flag comes back out. So there definitely is just a ton of emotion in there. and it comes out sometimes as we almost see contact between Ryan Maines and Dan West Jr. here on the restart.
Yeah, to your point, I think the biggest difference between the sim racing and the real thing is as far as the emotions go, is when the race is over, we don't have to write a big old check for a tore-up truck. So we tend to get over it a little bit faster than maybe the guys that got to write those big checks for the real cars do. But other than that, I think there's still some of the same exhilaration and some of the same agony or dejection. But that's, like I said, that's part of what makes this so great.
Yeah, real or not, still pride on the line as well. It doesn't matter where you go, there's still always that pride, and you want to finish good. And, speaking of finishing good, there's a few drivers I've been watching here. Dan West Jr. Putting on a really good run Monday. He's sitting currently in 6th place on the track. Rob Stewart had a terrific run and had a little incident there with Casey Tillman in the 92 after leading a just astronomical amount of laps. I'm not counting him out yet. Sean Brightsman's fast, but Rob Stewart's had a fast truck here tonight as well.
Yeah, I honestly thought Mark Walls was going to be the favorite tonight. This is really a good track for him. So when he got into the penalty points and had to discard early, I think this kind of made it in anybody's race. Rob Stewart's been real fast in practice. And, Sean Brightsman, this really isn't his track, but here he is once again. I don't think anybody figures out a track in the middle of a race and the line, adjust to it during a race in this league better than Sean does. He can be just absolute terrible at the beginning of a race and the best guy on the track at the end. So, once again, look at him just extending that lead. And, 40 laps ago, he couldn't hardly get by Rob Stewart.
Yeah, and then that's a big key on here, especially with the way the tires wear. You have heat in the track from the dynamic tracks and stuff, and the day to night transition. It really brings into that aspect now of adapting to the track. It was before, it was just go out there and race. You race the track or race the competitors. Now you got to race the track on top of that. And I did notice earlier, and we'll get confirmation from you. During qualifying, or practice, I believe it was night out, and then it became day for qualifying.
Yeah, so we've got, this is set up now with the way they allow us to do this. The actual practice, much like it does often in the real things, takes place the day before, and so we reset to the next day for qualifying in the race. So that way it lets us simulate kind of that day-to-night transition for the real thing by doing it the day before. And then we come back, reset, same conditions for qualifying and race, but obviously the track stays in the condition it was in. It's just daylight and temperature.
Well, that would explain the sun coming up. I was just thinking we had a really bright moon there for a while when it came out, but quickly found out that indeed it was daylight out. And speaking of that, we haven't checked our track information in a little bit here. Like you hinted at there, not much has changed. Even when it was dark out, the track was 79, 80 degrees, and we're sitting right at 80 degrees right now. So again, this track's not that hot. As a racer, I like a little cooler track, but each driver's zoned for you being the racer side. Do you like the track a little hotter, or do you like a little cooler?
Well, it really depends, I think it depends on how you've got your set built. When we run the fixed stuff, I like a hotter track because I think it's hotter to manage tires, and I think maybe a hotter track gives me a little advantage. I think guys can abuse their tires and do a little bit better on a colder track. So in that aspect, I tend to like a hotter track.
Yeah, definitely, they say loose is fast. A little slippery can be a little faster too. It just depends on, like you said, how you like it. And what I'm noticing and I'm liking right now is Rob Stewart, Ryan Maines, Stephen Paulson, Casey Tillman, all four of these, even Tom Green, 5 of them here as we'll zoom out a little bit. All 5 of them are right there together. You can almost throw a blanket over them, all battling for position. They're right there together. Meanwhile, Sean Brightsman, of course, he put his keys on the counter at the hotel and checked out at this point. But Anything could still happen up there with Sean Brightsman. Hopefully it doesn't, as Casey Tillman.
Somebody plowed the wall there. Holy cow, I didn't see who that was, but man, they came in hard.
That would be the 92 of Casey Tillman, as he definitely plowed that wall. We're going back to watch the replay. And ended up upside down, and I'm not sure if that's going to end his night or not, but it looks like he's still going, so... it's weird, and you could attest to this on the driving side. Sometimes you flip upside down, roll it, bang it off of everything on the track, and you keep going, and other times you barely tap the wall and your engine's blown.
Yeah, so, iRacing is working on its damage model, so hopefully we'll get some sort of visual indication as to why some of this happens. I think the damage that you see visually doesn't always relate to the damage that you have, or at least to the extent of it, so it leaves you scratching your head sometimes. They've been touting this new damage model coming out for about a year, so we're pretty excited for that. I'm hoping, in the next update or two, we'll see something like that. But one of the updates coming that's got us pretty excited.
Yeah, definitely. After some of the wrecks I've seen in real life in these trucks, I would be really interested to see what the damage model looks like for them. In real life, I've seen these things. You scrape the wall too many times, eventually you'll get caught and rip the sheet metal off the side of the car. So anything is possible when it comes to racing these things. They say the trucks. I can't talk tonight. The trucks are tough and tough drivers, and they really are. But sometimes they're a little too tough, I think. So yeah, damage model definitely a big plus when that finally comes out.
Hey, I'll tell you what, just to change the subject on you here a little bit, I was going to bring that up right before that wreck happened, but I just got to give a hat tip to Stephen Paulson here tonight. Man, what a great run he's having. He's up there running in fourth. He was battling Ryan Maines. I thought he was going to overtake him there for a second for third before he fell back just a little bit there. And then you got two places back there in fifth. You got Tom Green. I'll tell you what, these two guys right here, and add Frank Harris to this too. Nobody practices more than those guys. They are at every single practice, and they put hours in. They work. Stephen Paulson's not an oval guy by trade. He's a road guy that's over here kind of, working on his oval racing, and he puts the time in. And Tom Green and Frank Harris and James Vining too. But particularly those three are just always working on it. So I love seeing these guys up here running strong like that. Stephen Paulson, Tom Green. It's really good to see, man.
It definitely is, and a good run for them, and I'm glad to see them up there as well. Thinking of running, it looks like the 89 of John Ottenbacher, teammates, is going to get one of his laps back here. We never know. We have 44 to go. I think 17 laps down is going to be a bit much to overcome. But he'll at least get some of them back. And, we talk about it every week, or I talk about it every week anyway, that, you got to keep racing out there if the car will do it. Sometimes you just can't do it, but, every point counts.
Well, I'll tell you what, John's points racing right now. He's only right now as the cut line stands. He's only about 39 points above the cut line. So we got 7 races to go, counting tonight. But he's still in a points battle for the playoffs. So he's got to get out there and get every point he can get right now.
He definitely does. As Rob Stewart on the hunt. Rob Stewart, I really think, really wants to win as he slides up, gets into the 58 of Stephen Paulson. Stephen Paulson comes down, tags the 13 of Ryan Maines, but we stay clean and green. No caution comes out, but it's Bristol. This is what you see when you come to Bristol. There's a lot of beating, banging, rubbing fenders, and hopefully everybody's still friends at the end of the day.
Maybe tomorrow. I don't know about at the end of the day, but it might take us a day or two. But that's the great thing about this regional series. A lot of these guys know each other in real life, run with each other. We have some meetups occasionally, various groups. I know Sean, Mark, and I got together last summer, and I know a lot of these guys race together up in Wenatchee, Yakima area on the weekends. So everybody gets along, really well here.
Yeah, I will go on the record though here. I've never been invited to one of these meetups. It's probably something about that I'm too far away.
We sent John all the way down to Wichita Falls to meet you there, and all I heard was you no-showed him there, Chuck. Or Charles.
That'd be Chuck Kemper, and he's not here today. And I believe I didn't no-show him. I believe I told him I was at Home Depot covered in sweat at the time, doing something.
Same difference.
Yeah, I told him he could come to Home Depot, but he didn't come. But regardless, obviously all the way in Texas, kind of hard for me to get out there. But what's not hard is for Sean Bryceman to be leading this race. He's got a 0.8 of a second lead, but Stephen Paulson and Casey Tillman, not so much. Those two are right there together. The old Jim Beam 58 and the unsponsored number 92. Looking for a sponsor out there, of course, to slap on that car. And I haven't figured out what's on Ryan Mange. I believe it says Crunchyroll.
Yeah, he's got a Crunchyroll paint job. Looking at this, if something does happen to Sean, and it's not a stretch to say that he just loses it and spins around. We've seen that all night. You've got three guys behind him that I don't think have ever had a win in this series. So we may have a first-time winner here tonight. I know Rob Stewart would really like to have this win. He's been really fast here. Probably his best chance, for a win since joining us. And, Stephen Paulson, I think I just, told you I'm kind of rooting for him a little bit there. And Casey Tillman, too. I don't think Casey Tillman has he's also a rookie to this series this year. I don't think he's ever had a win, but he's certainly no stranger to running up front. But good opportunity for some guys who are actually in the chase, too. Casey Tillman and Stephen Paulson are, they're in on points right now, but boy, this would be a real good chance for both of them to try to maybe lock one in on the win here. And then Rob Stewart, he's not too far out. Now, he could do it, but he can't miss any more races if he does it. If he got the win tonight and made every other start the rest of the regular season, he could lock in a playoff spot.
Yeah, and, it's tougher than it sounds, make every race. It's tougher than it sounds. Stuff comes up. Just like real racing, obviously you have engine failures, have PC issues. A lot of things can go wrong that can make you miss a race. So you definitely have to have backup plans and plans to those backup plans as well. We're no stranger here, even in the broadcast booth. We've had to have backup plans as well. So definitely, hopefully he can make it. I'd love to see him get in there, maybe even make the Final Four, just because of how far he's come. And another one that you talked about is Tom Green. I'd love to see him get into that Final Four.
Oh, there goes Casey Tillman once again there. He was trying to pass Stephen Paulson on the inside, man. I'll tell you what, that inside line is treacherous. You got to be so careful getting into that corner on your entry there. Casey Tillman was going for it. He was pressing at the end of the race. It's go time. You got to do it. And around he went right into that wall. So not sure how many fast repairs he's got left, but that might just be the end of a good run for him tonight.
Yeah, it very well could be, as they're watching the replay, and there he is smacking the Food City sign on the wall there, and then backs it up into the wall. Luckily, nope, he's smoking, so that engine very well could be toasted, but he's going to roll it down pit road. But again, just because you're rolling it down pit road under zone power doesn't mean that when you get down there you will have a fast repair. And as much as we've seen Beaton and Mange going on, that truck looked awfully clean, so I'm going to assume he has already used that fast repair. And it looks like it, because I do not see a magic wand being waved over that car right now. So I have a feeling you're right. His night is going to end a little short here.
Yeah, I think it is too here. And, interesting choice. Track position is king here. We're going to go green with about, 22 laps to go. Sean Bryceman looks to be the only guy that stayed out. He pretty much had to for that track position, but everybody behind him is going to be on fresh tires. So I think we've had a leveling of the playing field there.
Yeah, we definitely have. Again, it's one of those things, like I talked about earlier, you don't know what's going to happen on a racetrack. There's a reason they call it racing, and they say it's one of the toughest sports out there. I don't care what anybody says. It's just as mentally and it's just as physically abusive as any other sport out there. Even in sim racing, I've heard from you. We usually have to give y'all a moment to catch your breath when you get to the booth here to do the interview, especially at a track like this. As especially using VR and stuff, you just soaking in sweat. You got to kind of get yourself gathered together.
Yeah, absolutely. A track like this tonight, right? We're turning 15-second laps, and you are on and off the throttle and on and off the brakes twice a lap, right? And so, we've got realistic pedals, right? This is just like, we've got a lot of the same feel that you'd have in a real car. We've got the same firmness of the brake pedal and the feedback, depending on how much money you've got in your pedals. But a lot of these guys have, some pedals that give you a similar feedback. So, it's a workout. You're 200 laps tonight. You're on the brakes 400 times. You're in and out of the throttle at least 400 times tonight. I mean, so you're working the feet. VR, hot, heavy. And then 2 corners in those same laps. It's a workout.
It definitely is a workout for sure. And they're about to get that workout once again. Right now is probably their favorite time of the race when they have this caution and they can kind of relax a little bit. It gives you a chance to kind of sit back and regroup. And as we get this green, I said I wanted to try it. I figured we might get a chance to see it here. And that is the green-white checkered. I really want to see if this update fixed it or not. They say it did. Obviously, I didn't even know about it until I heard about it from you. But we very well could see a green-white checkered here tonight.
I'll tell you what, Sean there on those old tires absolutely needed a good start there, and he got it. But looks to me like Rob is already closing that gap a little bit here. So be interested to see if Sean can hold off Rob long enough, maybe 20 laps here, 15, 20 laps or so, right up till the end there before Rob's tires wear off enough to maybe slow down to Sean's speed. So I think the end of this might get a little bit close.
Yeah, I definitely think it will as well. And just to update, of course, Roy Grande out of the race as of right now. Casey Tillman on pit road out of the race. Corey Walters, of course, you're here in the booth. Jackson Steiner, Mark Wells, Dane Rogers, James Heining, and James Thurston out of the race. So we've lost a lot of drivers, but still a lot of drivers out on the track duking it out here. Definitely glad they don't have to replace sheet metal as we have 18 laps to go. Ryan Maines is all over the back bumper of Rob Stewart right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sean needs right now. He's going to need those guys to maybe get a little bit of side-by-side action and break away. And looks like he's doing it, too. I'm not sure if Ryan's just making Rob drive it just a little bit too hard, overdrive it there a little bit, and he's losing lap speed, or if his truck's actually just falling off that fast. But Sean's starting to pull away here now.
Yeah, he definitely is pulling away. And we'll go back here. Let's go a little further back here. Tom Green kind of leading this group behind him. As you got Dan West Jr., Stephen Paulson, Caden Anderson, Casey Tillman, all these guys not all on the lead lap right now. As Caden Anderson and Casey Tillman 4 laps down and 11 laps down. But Dan West Jr. trying to find a way around the 77 to Tom Green. As I think he wants to get him on the high side, but that's where Tom Green's running as well. And that's one thing about racing, and especially here, you have to adapt and find somewhere that he's not in order to get by him.
Yeah, and right before you cut to them, unfortunately, Stephen Paulson, he was trying to make a move there on the low line. Ended up just about wrecking there, put it down on the apron, but he had a fantastic save. Lost a few spots, but great save by him. And then, of course, as I'm saying that, looks like Casey Tillman had another bottle, and here goes Caden Anderson around right now, too. So I'm not sure if it's going to bring out the caution. I think he got it into the pit, so we're not going to see a caution there. But, these first 20 laps on these tires while they're getting up to pressure sure are treacherous here tonight.
They are indeed, and he almost got it in the pits. He got it into the pit wall. Actually, he got into the little barrels. I'm not sure if they're sand barrels or water barrels. But either way, they're crunched up in front of his truck barrels as he does get it back on the track. So He's going strong and no caution out. As you said there, we are still racing 10 laps to go. This is kind of getting into that moment there, 5 or less, where it's iffy if we're going to see that overtime in the green-white checkered. I'm torn. Do we want to see it or do we not? If you're Sean Brightsman, you're his teammate, you may know him best. Does he want to see this thing go into overtime, or does he want to leave it on his own as he gets a little wiggly there?
Well, Sean Brightsman would tell you he'd love the exhilaration of trying to the green-white checker and get to overtime, but who doesn't want to win? And I think if this thing stays green, he's got to think he's got to win right now. Sean and I have been kind of going back and forth for most wins, and this will put him back ahead of me. So I might have to go with you here on this one and root for that green-white checker.
Well, definitely would be awesome to see. We get to test out the new overlays to see, or the new feature in the overlays to see if it works properly. And again, there's the caution coming out, and it's going to be Caden Anderson. As it is 6 to go, that may put us in the window. I'm not sure. Let's go back and take a look. Maybe we'll have to bribe race control to delay the caution one lap.
Race control is in the booth with you.
This is true. We'll see. Caden Anderson just whipping the back of the truck around once again. Takes out the blue cone, and he will bring it to a stop there. And, of course, that will do it. It is 5 to go, so it actually did register 5 laps to go now. So I believe that may have just put us just inside the window to go into overtime here tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think we've got lap-down cars that are still in the race, and if that's the case, we'll have that extra lap to get everybody pitted. So I think you might get it, Charles.
Yeah, we'll see. They say it's going to work. Well, we'll find out for sure here because, we wanted it. And, I hate to say it, but if we're wanting to test the green-white checker like we were wanting to here tonight, you couldn't have picked a better track than Bristol to hopefully get it, as it is 4 laps to go now. So I believe we will see it. Well, again, usually I think it's 5 to go, but I think some of that kind of got changed a little bit when they added this whole green-white checker thing in. So I'm not 100% sure what the lap limit is now.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I think we're going to end up, if it goes green on its own with 2 to go, they won't burn a green-white checker. But if we have to extend to the lap to get that green-white in, they will use the green-white checker for that. And I got a feeling that we're going to use one here.
I do too, and I am super stoked, to be honest. Finally get to test it out to see if it works. It is 3 to go right there. And the lights are still on, which means next time by would be 2. So it looks like it would be a 1-lap shootout. So guess we'll wait back and see.
Absolutely. So this restart critical for Sean. He's the control car, so he's got to like that. Rob Stewart here, he wants this win pretty bad, you can tell. It'll be really interesting to see if he can nail this restart here. It looks like Sean's going to take the inside here, and if Rob Stewart can just get out there and not let Sean get to the top of that track, he might have a shot to get him coming off of one of these corners, drive the exit kind of hard there, and get that run down the straightaway. So, going to be a real critical restart. And just as I say that, it looks like Sean took the outside. So, Rod Stewart's definitely going to have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. Again, this
green-white checker is official, Charles.
All right, then it did. It just jumped to 3 to go, where it should have been 2. So it is indeed going to, looks like it's going to work for us here. 3, so we'll get the green to the white and the checkered. This is going to be awesome. It's actually going to work. And how many do they run? I believe we can run 2 here, 3?
2. We're on green-white checker number 1 of 2.
All right, well, there it is. Green flag is out, of course. White flag would be next. White flag is in the air. And, green flag in the air.
They're wrecking.
And big wreck.
White checker.
And there, automatically, we just saw it automatically jumped back to 4 to go. Now 3 to go. So it is working somewhat properly. There's a big wreck back here, so let's go back and check it out. So this is their last attempt to do it now.
Yeah, this will be the last attempt here. So, if we can get back and get to that white flag, that'll be it. If they wreck again before they get back to the 1 to go, that'll be the end of the race. If we can get to the 1 to go, they'll let them finish it out.
Definitely, we'll see how it goes. That was a big pile up there. Sean Brightsman leading this race, and it is awesome. It's so it's cool to see. This is like a new toy for us, kind of over here in the booth. It's fluctuating. What it does is it'll fluctuate. It'll say 4 to go, then 3 to go. So it keeps it at 3 to go until we get the green. Then it drops to 2, of course. So it is working properly. So we do have green-white checkers working. So kind of an exciting day here in the booth.
Well, unfortunately, I was just back looking at that wreck again, and looks like I may have cursed a couple drivers there I was talking about as Tom Green and Stephen Paulson got into each other. Looked like Tom Green was really pushing it coming off that corner, got loose on him. Maybe a little too much wheel into it and turned right down into James Paulson, who was underneath him, and both those guys went straight into the wall. So two guys that were having a great night, who I was happy to see have a great night with an unfortunate finish here tonight.
Yeah, we won't mention who I picked.
Well, now I'm curious.
That was actually Casey Tillman.
Well, you did better than if you'd have picked me or Mark, I think.
At least he's still in the race.
Yeah.
So I didn't completely jinx him, so that's good. But
I'll tell you, I wouldn't have picked Sean tonight. This just, I don't think this is his track. So, fantastic to see Sean doing this tonight with Rob Stewart and Dan West up there, though. Those are two guys, too, that could, would both be deserving of wins. So, be interested to see that battle between Dan West Jr. and Ryan Maines for that final podium spot, too.
It definitely would, and looks like we'll be seeing soon. Again, now that we're on to the second green-white checkered, one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to see a caution, race is over, or we're going to get the white flag, and then they will race it out to the end, as you just said a second ago. So one of those two things is going to happen next.
Absolutely. We'll see if Rob can get a little bit better start this time. Sean was able to clear him pretty easily last time and get that lead. So Rob hopefully learned a little bit on that last restart, and maybe he's got a little bit better timing down, or he can guess it a little bit better here. But he's going to have to get a good start here if he's going to get this win tonight.
He definitely needs a really good start. It's so hard if you're on that outside. You have to time everything perfect, but if you time it too well, or even on the inside, if you time it too well and you get ahead of them at the start, you have to either check up or get a black flag. So there's so many things that you have to think about there. And in order to see them, you got to lag back a little bit, and doing that usually indicates you're not going to get the best start. So it's a tough job trying to get a perfect restart.
Well, if you're not the control car, too, I find it harder to start on the inside because you're naturally looking to the left a little bit because that's where the corners are going. And you've got to kind of cock your head to the right to try to make this restart. And Sean, once again, he's able to clear him. But Rob Stewart got a great run going into the turn, and he was going for it there.
He was.
He was going to sail it in there. I don't think he wanted to lift. Actually allowed Ryan Maines to get up underneath them. They make contact. Rod Stewart up into the wall. Him and Dan West make a little bit contact as he comes off the wall. And Rob Stewart there drove it in there real hard. He was going to try to make it, and then just everybody fight for a podium. Rob Stewart tonight's going to not end nearly as well as he deserved it to end tonight.
Definitely not ending as good as it was, and actually still getting a third place finish. So all of that, your race winner is going to be Sean Brightsman. And I say that Rob Stewart now being dropped to fourth. It just has not updated. But your race winner here, in Jeff's words, not his pick for the win here tonight, but he gets it nevertheless, followed by Ryan Maines, Dan West Jr., Rob Stewart, Stephen Paulson, Tom Green, Casey Tillman, Caden Anderson, John Ottenbacher, and then out of the race a little early, Frank Harris, Roy Grande, Corey Walters, Jeff Stabnow, Jackson Steiner, Mark Walls, Dana Rogers, James Vining, and James Thurston will be your finishers here tonight. It'll be up on the top of your screen for a moment while we gather up our top three here for the interview. We're going to watch your winner do some donuts, and we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here in the post-race show. It was a little bit of a trip to the booth, but we have all three drivers here with us. And, of course, as always, starting with third place here tonight, that is going to be the 55 of Dan West Jr. And all I can say is an awesome run here for you. And we didn't get to talk to you on Monday night, but an outstanding run on Monday night. Didn't quite end the way you wanted to, but a good run both nights. A third place here, and I'm not 100% sure where it finished on Monday night, but I can't remember now. It's been too long, but still, two really good runs here. Are you kind of looking forward to this momentum? You're getting good runs, getting closer and closer to that chase starting soon.
Yeah, I mean, tonight was just trying to stay out of the wrecks, and I ended up running a really conservative setup. I think it was the baseline setup that iRacing has that I kind of modified a little bit. But as you could see in the race, it definitely was not the fast truck. But I just was not comfortable with anything else to where I was afraid of spinning out. But yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, we're looking for. I'm not in the chase to be able to win it, but I definitely like to run some of those races.
Well, definitely, in the chase or not, we look forward to seeing how many wins you can get there. Again, just some great racing here all around. Before we let you get to your sponsors and shout outs, so we got to get your overall thoughts on this particular track. What did you think about it coming in? What do you think about it now? And, just give us your overall thoughts on this track.
Well, I think going into it, I knew it was going to be a bull ring, but I had no idea. Like Jeff and I were talking, this new setup that iRacing put out is it's a handful, as you can see, with guys that were having a hard time keeping the trucks under them. So it ended up being kind of what I thought it was going to be, and that's why I went with that real conservative setup. But it played out. I mean, I feel fortunate to be a top three. I definitely was not a top three truck. I was probably more of a maybe a top 8, if you will.
Well, definitely, you drove it like it was meant to win. You just came up a little bit short. And we know you got some shout-outs and possible sponsors on the car, so who those be for that third place finish?
Well, Charles, I'd like to thank VRN for you guys helping us out with this, and Mark Wall's company, and Jeff. Stab now. He's beating himself up a little bit over these setups that he had short time to work with, and I just appreciate what Northwest Racing does to allow us to come out here and race.
Oh, definitely. We love being here, and he does a lot to get this series going. Again, congrats on the third place finish. And Jeff volunteered to be in the booth, so we're going to throw him a little interview here. So we'll hand over the mic to him so he can talk to the 13 of Ryan Maines who have finished second place here tonight.
All right, you know what they say, those who can do race and those who can't broadcast. So tonight I'm broadcasting because I couldn't get it done on the track. Ryan Maines, congratulations, man. You were a strong truck all night. I kind of had a feeling that you were going to be strong all night. You've always been strong at Bristol. These sets were a handful. Tell us what you thought, what your strategy was from getting around the track. Did you have a custom set that you worked on, in the top secret lab there that got around better than the rest of us, or did you just drive it that much better than the rest of us tonight?
No top secret lab about it. I was tweaking my own setup a little bit. Yours gave me some ideas, and I used that, and it seemed to work out pretty good when the sheet metal wasn't being bent. It was crazy out there.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Like I said, I had to park it personally, but watching you and Roy Grand there at the end, it was kind of watching Roy to see if he could get a jump on Sean there at the end, and Sean just kind of killed that last start, but Roy really kind of sailed in there. I thought he took one big final swing at it, and you had kind of the smart play. You were able to take advantage of it when he overdrove that corner exit and get underneath him. You guys were drag racing down that straightaway and then made a little contact, and you were able to keep it on the track. He was not, so you ended up with second place out of it. Tell us about that little battle there on that final lap.
Oh, I got some fresh tires on that Pro Hire green white checkered, so I could stick it down there a little bit better, and I got it underneath them, and I went back and looked at it, and there must have been some net code or something because it didn't give me an X for it. But I saw him when he's coming down bounce off about a foot away from me and heading right into the wall. So I hope he doesn't think I did it, but it kind of sounds like I did. I was trying to catch Sean there before the race ran out, but fresh tires or not, Sean was fast.
Well, I looked at the replay there. My 2 cents. I don't think you did anything wrong on that. I thought it was just some good hard racing. Thought you held your line. Thought you guys were running pretty close to each other, and it just happened. So, I think overall you had a great race. Maybe not quite enough to catch Sean, who was able to lock it in there tonight with a win, even. But congratulations to you. You're firmly in the chase right now in points. Just need to keep this up. These are the kind of finishes you need to get there. So, with that said, we'll let you get any shout-outs you have out there.
Always a shout-out to Walls Beer Co. for sponsoring it. Let's Go Race every week, and VRN for always making it fun.
All right, thanks, Ryan, and we'll let Charles get to it here with the winner.
All right, I do have your race winner here, and I had to interview him. I couldn't let his own teammate interview him. That is going to be the 46 of Sean Breitzman, and I just want to say, I didn't pick you, but Jeff said he didn't know if you were had the truck here either, or something like that. It may have been a little nicer, but either way, he thought it would be Mark's race. Mark got out of the race a little bit earlier, and you had come in, and kind of an up and down night for you regardless. You did have some downs there a little bit in the back, and you came to the front in the late half. So any changes you made to that truck that really brought it to life there at the end?
Not really, actually. I kind of ran the share that Jeff and all the guys worked on previously for the whole series, and just kind of took it easy or attempted to take it easy. Found the limit of what I could do with the truck, and then started making my way and learned how to drive it properly, and that way I didn't spin out or get extra loose. I mean, I had a few instances, but
well, it definitely, this track coming to it, is not necessarily everyone's favorite track. So, as always, coming into it, leaving it, have your thoughts changed on it from when you got here and now that we're fixing to be leaving?
Absolutely not. I am still not a huge fan of Bristol. I do like winning, but I'm definitely glad to push past this place and move on to the next race.
Speaking of next, we want to bring this up here because we were checking the schedule out here just the other day, and Kansas, kind of a track. Not too worried about it. Darlington could be a little tricky. People are going to definitely earn their stripes. Las Vegas, you got to worry about certain turns. New Hampshire, another short track. So coming up to this chase, this is what we want to talk about here, is the round of 12 starts. Luckily, I think you'll probably be in. I believe you had to start this race to be in. But knowing that you're probably in when you have New Hampshire coming up, Charlotte Roval, and Talladega back to back to back before the chase starts, are you kind of glad that you're probably locked in at this point?
Absolutely. Although I do love New Hampshire, so it's going to be interesting here. These next few weeks, Kansas is kind of a one line or a one groove track, kind of running up the top. I can't remember if we're running that night or not, but Darlington, same thing. We're running on kind of one lane tracks for the most part coming up, except for Las Vegas, and then all of a sudden we hit the Charlotte Roval, which we, as for the Northwest Series, hasn't hit that at all yet. So this will be the first time there for us in the trucks, and I'm looking forward to that.
Well, definitely going to be something different. We're looking forward to it as well, to cover it. And of course, everybody likes the super speedway race to end the normal season before we move on to the postseason. But we know you got some sponsors on that car and some people you need to thank. So who would those be for this win here tonight?
Absolutely. Got to thank Wicked Chassis Racing, Walls Beard Co., Central Welding Supply, Virtual Racing Network, and all the drivers that came out tonight to brave the Bristol racetrack and the conditions that we had to race in. So thank you guys for coming out.
Well, definitely, we're glad to be here. Congrats on the win. And of course, that's going to wrap it up here for tonight's racing action, as we had a blast here under the lights at Bristol Motor Speedway here for the Northwest Truck Series. I believe we'll check the calendar to give you an upcoming events real fast. Of course, we are off tomorrow because we will be at Monarch Motor Speedway. And Saturday we're off. We are headed to Grayson County Speedway. And we'll be back Sunday with the Race Core Xfinity Series, Northwest Xfinity Series off Monday. Of course, we're off on Tuesday. We come back with the World of Thunder on Wednesday and some more dirt track racing on Thursday, as the Northwest Truck Series off this Thursday as well. So we will see you back with this series in like 2 weeks. We'll see you on the 22nd will be the next race. So until then, check in on the other races, of course, and we'll see you all next race. So have a great rest of your night or morning, depending on where you're at, and we'll see you then.